Dennis Gaines from Sennheiser. Today I'm going to be talking about Sennheiser's new wireless product called Spectera. It's the world's first WMAS product. It's bi-directional. The pack, which I have here, is both microphone and IFB or in-ears in a single pack. We work on a WMAS carrier of 6 megahertz. So we can put 32 microphones and 32 mono IFBs or 16 stereo in-ears in a single 6 megahertz carrier. The antennas now are, we only need one antenna for both directions. You can put 4 antennas into a single base station, and that connection between the base station and the antennas are now category cable. So up to 300 feet on Cat 5e, Cat 6, then we can do a meteor extender, go to optical, and go up to about 3 kilometers. The base station is a single unit, single rack space. Everything is done in this single, so no need for racks and racks of gear, no need for splitters and combiners. Everything is directly inside of this single rack U. We have dual redundant power supplies, 4 antenna connections here, word clock in and out, the control port, so you can control the box, cascade port, which will be implemented in the future, allow you to cascade multiple base units together to extend more antenna ports, and then Dante redundancy, and then 2 optional slots. Currently we have a MADI optical card and a MADI coax card that can go into those slots. So the digital mics and IFBs, IEMs, and it's continuous bidirectional communication. So we know the state of the pack whenever it is turned on. So volume level, we can set the volume level from the GUI or from the actual pack. We know how much battery's left, temperature, kind of everything like that. Your system architecture goes from racks and racks of gear down to a single U for 1/6, or for a base unit can do actual 2 6 megahertz carriers. You can, like I said before, you can put up to 32 mics and 32 IFBs in one unit. Here's just showing you that before we get 64 channels in a single rack. Before it would be much more rack space. Now it's just down to a single rack space. Using, here in the United States, the WMAS carrier is 6 megahertz wide. In Europe it is 8 megahertz wide. Basically it's a full TV station. And the way that we deal with placing all of these microphones and IFBs inside the 6 megahertz carrier is that we don't actually just say this microphone is this space in the 6 megahertz. What we're doing is we're copying all of the channels over and over hundreds of times and make copies. So if part of the spectrum has a dropout over here, doesn't matter because there's plenty more copies of that audio across the 6 megahertz. So the rejection to fading is almost doesn't happen. With Spectera and WMAS, you can define the latency and the quality of the audio by what we call link modes. We have 11 link modes. The latency of the ears can go all the way down to 0.7 milliseconds, and the microphone is all the way down to 1 millisecond. Depending on the quality, you can go from completely uncompressed PCM down to our CDAC in Opus codecs. So depending on the link mode they use, it might use up more of the carrier. Basically what you do is you would choose the link mode that works the best for you and fill up the first carrier by adding channels. And then once you get past that the 6 megahertz, you can add a second carrier on a single base station. So you can see this is just explaining a little bit more of latency settings. They're anywhere between 7 milliseconds and 15 milliseconds, depending on what you're using it for. And then the microphone instrument is also 1 millisecond up to 15 milliseconds. So we have a new software that runs Spectera. You can either connect through the web server that lives directly inside of the box, or a new software called LinkDesk. LinkDesk, you have easy control, grouping, continuous RF spectrum scanning, your status and the health, LQI, audio levels. Everything is directly in a single window. We can just kind of jump through this. We have AES-256 encryption for both the audio and the control, and a synchronized clock for all of the packs are synchronized. So now it's the first time that we're essentially phase accurate between packs. So it allows you to do either 3D recordings and playback. So here's just a couple of system examples. 8 mics and 8 stereo IEMs, and then on that side it's 48 mics and 48 stereo IEMs in one zone with a continuous stand. So any of the antennas can be put into a continuous frequency scan. And that's just the beginning. So we've released earlier this year, 2025. In the future, we'll see the SKM, which is the handheld. Currently, it's just the bidirectional pack. The handheld will be coming out sometime next year. ST2110 capability right now is just Dante. And then the Cascade port, which will allow you to connect multiple base stations together and either extend your antenna capabilities or the ability to have more carriers.